Yo, what's up, Sarah? How you doing today?
I'm fine, Fatboy. How are you?
Good. You are wearing an auntie's cardigan
No,
today.
it's not an auntie's cardigan. It's a very fashionable one. I'm sorry that you don't have a sense of style.
Well, I'm also wearing, mine is a lot cooler. It's a bit
No,
of a...
it's not. It's basic and plain.
Ah.
It's like mashed potatoes without butter.
Oh my gosh.
That's
If we
your
were to
cardigan.
carry out a survey right now, like if we asked people
We
to
should
poll,
do that.
take a poll on whose sweater looks cooler,
Totally.
I wonder what they would say. And of course,
Let
if you're just...
us do that, Fatboy.
If you are just listening to this through the live stream or on a podcast, you might not be able to see what we're wearing. But if you're catching this on YouTube, you can clearly see it. And maybe after the show, you can go to our YouTube channel, check out the video, and then cast your vote as to whose top is cooler. Is it mine or is it Sarah's?
It's definitely Sarah's.
Oh, yeah.
You
You're
know what, we
insisting.
should place a bet on this.
On what? On what people will say?
No. Whoever's cardigan wins, the other person has to buy the other person another cardigan.
Wait, so this sounds like a conspiracy. What are you planning to do? You're going to call your sister, your brother, your friends, and you're going to tell them to vote. You're going to rig this thing. I don't trust you. But
You're
nonetheless,
just scared.
so do tell us what's popping today, Sarah.
Well, Tyrese Gibson is what's popping, and I have very unfortunate news about this gentleman because, my goodness, his bank account might be dented or might run dry.
I heard. What do
heard?
you want from me?
What more do you want from me?
Man, it's even worse. Now,
Right.
he has been ordered by a judge to pay back child support to his ex-wife, Samantha Lee Gibson, and it totals up to almost $250,000 US.
So I don't get this. His love life has been very turbulent. I know that the marriage to the first wife ended in divorce, and I think this is the second wife that he's divorcing from, to whom he has lost custody of his child,
Yes,
I think. And
Soraya, yes.
now has to pay child support. And then
Yes.
his current girlfriend was clowning him on an Instagram live.
Yes, talking about how she was not interested in him and like she liked Paul Walker instead.
Yes.
How did we meet? I slid in the DMs.
Yeah.
We linked up.
He wasn't my type at all.
We
My
linked.
type was actually Paul Walker, rest in peace. But he wasn't my type at all.
So I just don't know what's up, man. His game is weak.
No, it's not. I think he just needs to take a break and do some soul searching.
Okay.
Love yourself. Okay, raise your standards when it comes to women. And hopefully this will never happen again. But anyway, he was ordered by a judge to pay back child support of nearly $250,000 US to his ex-wife Samantha Lee Gibson, and during the hearing at the Fulton County Courthouse in Atlanta, he was also ordered to pay almost $400,000 US to her attorneys. Well, Tyrese also took to his social media to blast the judge, and the judge's name is Kevin Farmer. And he went on to say in a rambling selfie video, and he went on to reveal that he unsuccessfully tried to have the judge removed from his family court case. But of course, the judge stayed on the case. And he called for a peaceful protest in front of the courthouse in the video posted on his Instagram. And he has about 16.6 million followers. But the protest was, of course, about the bias against fathers in the family court system, but it did not materialize. And he was ordered by the judge in August last year to pay $10,690,000 US a month in child support to his ex-wife on behalf of their 4-year-old daughter called Soraya. I love that name, Soraya.
Now, let me ask you this. Of course, here in Uganda, we have a slightly different legal system. But don't you think it's a bit unfair on guys? Like, what do you think guys are going to be taking from this, especially guys in the West? Don't you think this is just going to make them so paranoid on the idea of coupling with a woman, cohabiting with a woman, marrying a woman, having kids? Because this kind of financial damage is quite extensive. Like, how do you... Not too many guys can manage this kind of a dent in their finances. And, we don't know how he's doing. And with a lot of these rulings, the judges don't even care about how much money you have.
I don't think so. I think there's I think there's maybe like a system in which they calculate based on your income about how much you can
It's based on your expected income.
Your income that you give to
let's talk about expected
co-parent.
income. So you could say, hey, you can say measure my income over the last 5 years and say, okay, based on that, we stipulate that you ought to be able to afford however many $1,000s a month. But this is Hollywood we're talking about, the entertainment business. You can be a hit music maker today, you can be in a couple of hit movies today, and then you fall off. But then
you're not making the same
same amount of money, but that amount that was ruled by the judge that you ought to pay remains in force.
I don't think it remains in force.
I think you can appeal it.
Yeah, you definitely go back when you fall off and say, you know what, the $10,000
this
not
is
coming
why,
in a month. I'm now down to 5,000. How about you adjust these fees?
Well, this is why, for example, for the longest time, the Oscar award winner for The Whale, what's his name? Brendan Fraser.
Yeah.
Why, for example, he was having a rough time because he too, I think, had very expensive alimony payments to make.
Yeah.
Robin Williams ended up taking on roles in films and projects he didn't even like because he had to meet that obligation to pay.
The same thing with Mary J. Blige as well.
Same thing.
Also said that she had to go back on the road on tour so that she can pay her alimony.
Don't you think it's unfair? Regardless of who is the recipient of the payment, isn't it unfair on the person being made to pay?
I think what this is going to do is going to make people think very critically and very carefully on who they choose to decide to tie the knot with.
Or simply will not tie the knot.
Because they will understand that there's going to be consequences to it.
Yeah, but
I think it takes us back to a place where marriage is until death does us part. And I think the family court does this intentionally to deter people from actually divorcing and going away from the actual purpose of what marriage is supposed to be.
I will say this. I occupy a space on the internet called the manosphere where men are always talking about these things. And I can tell you one of the primary reasons as to why many men are opting to not get married is because of that. Rather than because since we know it is women who initiate the divorces the most, and seeing as they tend to be the primary beneficiaries of alimony and child support, it is in women's interest to do. So a woman would not. Just a minute. Let me make this point. Hold on 1 second. So a woman would not think twice about divorcing because she has more to gain financially from it rather than the man. So to say that these sorts of rulings maybe might deter men from seeking divorce, actually it's quite the opposite. It's going to encourage women to file divorce, and that's exactly what we're seeing.
What I'm saying is
and men are suffering.
No, what I'm saying is that because there is a punishment, and I put that in quotes, a punishment at the end of the line in the event that you do ask for a divorce and there are hefty consequences to it, I think people are going to be a lot more careful when they walk into marriage and not treat it like it's some plot for the weekend. Do you understand what I mean?
But you see,
that is what I'm trying to say.
What you're saying would make more sense if it was men filing more, the divorces more. Because then if you're the one that files for divorce and you get pegged for alimony or child support, then you've learned your lesson.
No.
But if you are as a man, you're getting married thinking it's gonna last, and then your woman wakes up one morning and says, hey, I'm not happy anymore.
This is the thing I am saying. What I still stick by my point is that even the men going in, they are going to, think very critically and very carefully about the women that they want to spend their lives with. And when it comes down to, yes, women are usually the bigger, what's the word? The bigger beneficiary of a divorce. Yeah. But really in court, it is the partner that earns the list who is the beneficiary in the divorce.
Okay, so how would you feel?
Because if, say, for instance, we got married and I was earning more, I would be the one required to pay you alimony.
And this is why I understand that. And that's why I'm arguing from principle. To me, it would be unfair on a woman also if her husband filed and then she had to cough up all that money. Even for that, I would say it's unfair on the woman.
Yeah, it is.
So it's unfair on everybody. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly. So let us be very cautious about who we choose to spend the rest of our lives with. Like it is very, very
scary.
It's very scary. We have to be very cautious about it before you sign that paper. And what is very important is that, okay, fine, you can do that, but I don't think we talk about prenups enough. And it's very important that we also you include those.
My friend.
You include those.
You didn't see what they did to Dr. Dre?
You
know what the wife said? She signed it under duress.
That is the thing.
So she was trying to have the agreement, the prenup, invalidated.
But did it work? Did what she said work? It didn't
actually,
work.
I'm not sure. Did
didn't work.
So did it hold the prenup?
No, it did hold.
Really?
And he was able to keep
That was a close one.
a whole chunk of his money and
That
his things.
was a close one. But think of it. She was actually trying to get it
She was
listed.
trying to do it. That's why it's important to always have a prenup.
You can't trust this gender.
Prenup, and also have witnesses co-sign that prenup. I don't know, a video record it.
Or
take
just don't get married. How about
tests
that? Or just
and
don't
all
get
that
married.
Stuff.
Isn't that the
No,
easiest
no,
thing?
It is
to
not.
just not get married.
No, Fatboy.
It avoids all those problems.
Exactly. You are being avoidant right now. You are trying to get the benefits. And
What
that's the thing,
benefits?
because there are people.
There are no benefits.
No, they are benefits because
No.
you would get a woman into your house, not marry her, not invest in her, not take care of her, and then when you're done with her, probably when she gets older, you find somebody younger. People like you will be taking advantage of the not getting married situation. It's important to have contracts. Marriage is important. Have a prenup to back that up. Have maybe 2 or 10 as well. I don't know if that is possible, but do what you have to do, because at the end of the day, relationships or marriages are supposed to be beneficial to both partners equally, fairly, and mutually.
Let me tell you something, Sarah. So the challenge is this: as human beings, you know that human beings, what they like the most is the path of least resistance. Because essentially, you're saying to men,
narcissists like that path.
Listen, you're saying, are you seeing that obstacle course full of humps and ditches and traps and hurdles? Yeah, and landmines that are buried under the ground that you can't see. Yeah, so that's the path you're supposed to traverse, but do so cleverly such that you get to the other side unscathed. Or the other option, which is don't even walk that path. Which do you think someone is going to choose?
The path that probably has bombs and whatnot, because
No.
that's how life is, Fatboy.
No.
That's how life. That's exactly.
It's not a rational way to look at it.
You can't tell me that from since birth to this age you have had a smooth path. Even when you have put all these protective barriers around yourself and thought that you were avoiding danger or avoiding inconveniences, you still found yourself in that inconvenience.
Now the thing is, but we do not knowingly put ourselves in those difficult situations.
That is what we think. That is what we think when we're making decisions, and then end up.
We tend to try to avoid those situations, and when we encounter them,
what we think.
We try our best to navigate through. But it would be foolhardy for someone to say, "Well, you see this path that is just fraught with danger, this narrow road at the edge of the cliff. I'm such a fool that I'm going to traverse it in the hopes that I'll make it to the other side." Compared to my friend here, who is going to avoid all that inconvenience, all that risk of danger, and get to the other side in one piece.
The fact that you
it's an obvious and easy choice.
The fact that you cannot see the future, the fact that you cannot determine what is going to happen the minute you step out of this door, you're going to keep on thinking that you are doing the safest, making the safest decision for yourself. But anything can happen. There is danger right now. You could stand up right now and trip and fall through the screen right now, and we have a whole tragic situation happening.
But would I knowingly do that?
So what I'm saying is that you take it one step at a time. No, you wouldn't. Then this is the thing. You may think that by navigating on the left, you're going to be safer. You could
How
have
about
taken
steer
the right
clear of danger? How about that? Just steer clear of danger. How hard is that?
You can never tell what is danger. Have you watched that series 1000 Ways to Die? Have you watched it?
No, I haven't.
You should watch it. It shows that you can die at any time. You can get yourself in a very inconvenient situation at any second, and things that you think are safe are not safe.
I have a feeling that at least in the case of Tyrese, who's now I guess would this be his third time being knocked around? Well, I don't know however many times he's found himself in these situations, but I think he, of all people, has really learned some very painful lessons. And maybe he just needs to take a break from women. Take a break from marriage, dating. He needs to think deeply about what he wants out of life. Maybe talk to someone to help guide him through what a more appropriate partner for him might be. Or maybe just abandon that life altogether, because, how much more of this can he take?
But
I wonder if he's going to post yet another video.
Ridiculous.
Because, the "what do you want from me?" That video just let us know that this is a man who's in deep, way beyond what he can handle.
He was fighting for his child.
And now he has lost the child, and now he's going to lose money too.
So anyway, back to Tyrese. Well, he did refuse to pay because he felt the judge who publicly scolded him during, his testimony in court, and he went on to call the judge racist and biased against him. Tyrese also went on to say that the judge, this is Judge Farmer, penalized him
Racist.
for refusing to pay by holding him refused because when they told him to pay that about 10,000 in child support, he refused to pay, and then the judge, held him in contempt of court. And he should have been arrested at the time, but the judge, did not have him arrested. Well, he was also ordered to pay $237,944 in back child support for Soraya. This means he hasn't been paying for a very long time. We could do the math because about $10,000 and multiplying it to about 200K now.
Wow,
he hasn't been paying for a very long time. But anyway, he was also asked to pay the $399,000 for his ex-wife's lawyer's fees, and Tyrese also had to pay $17,000 for the special master who was appointed by the judge to handle disputes during the case.
Do you know what the consequence of this is going to be?
What?
He's going to have to be cranking out more Fast and Furious movies to just keep making these payments. So Vin Diesel, I think, mentioned that this next one, the 10th one, will be the last. But I have a feeling after that one, Tyrese is going to pull him aside and say, man, let's just keep doing this. Because, man, I got bills. I got child support. It's just so... I feel bad for him. And I like him. He seems like a cool guy. But, man, he's made some wrong choices in his life. And so he's paying the price.
Yeah.
What more do you want from me?
What more do you want from me?
And just this one more thing. Well, his wife filed for divorce from him in September of 2020, and she actually even got married they secretly got married on Valentine's Day in 2017. They got married in 2017.
Well, it's I guess at least one person had a happy ending. She found love and she's getting paid.
And he also has joint custody of his 15-year-old daughter. She's called Shyla. Oh, she's, by the way, very gorgeous. He posted her on her Instagram and he captioned it, "You need to stop growing so fast." Anyway, from his 2-year marriage to his ex, who the marriage ended in 2009, her name is Norma Mitchell.
Well,
and yes, he's currently in a relationship with a 27-year-old girl called Zilly Timothy.
And it's going splendidly well, isn't it?
Yeah, they went public in 2021. It's not funny, by the way, but he will be seen in the next Fast and Furious 10. That is Fast 10. That is going to be in theaters, and that is on May 19th. Please go support.
It's coming out next month.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So please watch, support, because Tyrese has to pay child support.